Hey guys, thanks for coming to my channel again. I first wanted to show you some of these because I got munchies and I got these and they're so good. I don't even know what sour dudes are, but they're good. They're new. Oh, they're new. Sorry, the webcam is opposite. Um, but I figured since I'm gonna end up talking about the munchies in this at some point, I should show you some munchies. These are good, a good little chew, but I take too long to chew these and nobody wants to hear me do all that, so we're gonna set those aside for when I'm done. But okay, so this takes place when I was 17. So yeah, nothing in this is something that I didn't do anything first of all, but this would never happen to me now. I would just leave. I couldn't leave at the time. So I was staying with my older sibling and his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had this friend at the time. They were like best friends or whatever. Like, I don't know the whole backstory there. That's her friend. But yeah, so I started hanging out with this girl too, and she would come over, and so I would like see her, and we would talk, and like there's another story with her too, where like we went to some house party and they took me along, and like there we were drinking apple juice, and things got a little bit interesting, but not too crazy. This though, this was crazy, but not in a like, oh my god, last night was crazy way. Just in a way that it's just like, you're too grown for this. I don't care that you're like maybe 21 or 22. Yeah, you're doing too much. Because I'm 27 now, and even when I was 22, I wouldn't have been doing this. So, anyway, okay, so as far as I know, okay, let's give her a name first of all. And speaking of names, I'm sorry, but from the video about my coworker that I ended up getting embarrassed with because I had to tell my, just watch the video. That video, I was texting my friend about that, and she had watched it, and she was like, "You should have named." She said, "You should have, instead of James, you should have named him Stinky because he reminded me that at one point I was talking to him, and I just happened to like see inside of his mouth and like, listen, my teeth aren't perfect. I'm not talking about crookedness. It just, I looked and I saw some buildup, and I know better now, but at the time I was just looking. It was looking a little unbrushed, and I was concerned. I was a little scared. So yeah, that made me laugh. She said, "You should call him Stinky." I'm not gonna call that man Stinky. I will not get through the video, but just all cozy on my couch. Anyway, so this girl, let's give her a name. Um, let's call her Melissa. Yeah, Melissa. So I don't know how much Melissa had smoked in the past before this time. I don't know if she had smoked at all. I don't know if this was her first time. I have a feeling that it wasn't, and I could ask and get confirmation, but I already started recording, and I'm definitely not reaching out to Melissa. I meant like my sister-in-law at the time, just my brother's girlfriend. So Melissa comes over, the burp, excuse me, sorry. And Melissa's cool to me, you know, she's fine. Every time I'm thinking Melissa's fine, like Melissa's fine. So we go, we're all sitting in front of the TV and watching some weird Adult Swim thing on YouTube, like probably some weird compilation. I think it's called After Hours or something, or Off the Air. I think it's called Off the Air. And like, it just shows a bunch of weird, like, trippy kind of videos, and I don't know, it's not that entertaining if you're not into it, but if you like that, then you would like it. It's weird. So we're watching that, everything's going fine. We're passing a bubbler around with some cabbage, some devil's lettuce inside, and everybody's doing fine. You know, it's going to him, it's going to her, it's coming to me, and then I'm passing it to Melissa on the end, and we go around in the rotation. And Melissa, if you're watching this, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do this? Why would you even do this, Melissa? Anyway, Melissa, she was fine, and we were smoking just fine. But then I guess at one point, like, Melissa wanted some more, which is totally fine. And so she was like, "I don't feel like I got enough. Can I do it again? Like, can I hit it again?" And so we're like, "Of course, go ahead. You're totally capable of making rational choices. Sure." So she takes in some more, and she gets a little quiet for now. She gets a little quiet, and then it feels like out of nowhere, she just starts like kind of crying and freaking out. And that was the point where I knew that like this was kind of going to be a long night, because Melissa obviously can't get herself home when she's starting to green out, is what's happening. And so Melissa is doing a lot of weird stuff, and she's feeling guilty, I think, about the pot or whatever. She's feeling guilty. So Melissa decides that right now is a good time to start repenting and praying and crying. And so she's doing her thing with that, freaking everybody the fuck out. And then she, like, okay, like, this is over a span of time. This all happens over the span of a couple hours. But like, it was evident at the beginning that like she wasn't going home, and that she wasn't like okay anymore, and that she was feeling like probably, I feel like basically when you green out, it's just a lot of anxiety and paranoia coming from the cabbage. Like sometimes it's just too much. It can happen to anybody. I've been smoking for a long time, and I think that I guess I could say I've kind of greened out, but like it's never something that was outward where I made it other people's issue. But if you're with the right people, it's not going to be this big issue. It's not going to be like, ugh, just leave her. Like, if you're with people who would leave you if you started freaking out on any substance, then you don't need to be friends with them, because they're not safe to be around, period. But she was just doing a lot, and I was 17, and I'd never even experienced somebody like freaking out like this before anyway. But I just remember, okay, like, sorry, side story, like I took some edibles, and I took a lot, and they hit me, and like I can always tell myself, like, girl, you're fine, and that's all I need to do. You know, you could get a little overwhelmed. It can like all hit you at once. You can feel a little anxious. You know, your heart rate might increase, which in turn can just make the anxiety worse. And I don't know, for me, that's my cue to go lay down in the bed. I don't start like freaking out and crying and telling everybody that like I'm not okay, or that I'm too high, or anything like that, because like I know that at the end of the day it's gonna go away. So I just am like, I'll just go to sleep. I'll just go to sleep, or I'll just lay here until I fall asleep, and then I'm fine. But everybody, especially when you're not used to that, or you've never experienced it, or you just aren't good at self-regulating, everybody can't do that. And I think that this is an example of what happened in the Melissa situation. I just had to say that. Like, she's not a bad person. This was just minorly inconvenient and annoying, and like kind of freaking, like, it didn't freak me out on her level of like greening out, but it freaked me out in a way where I was like, okay, like some issues have surfaced. Like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes the religious trauma be jumping out in weird ways, and I feel like that's what that was, because she was repenting and like saying God was like gonna be upset and stuff like that. But like God put the plant on the earth, so I don't know if He didn't want us to do anything with it. I don't know, God. I don't know, God. Maybe you should have done that. Anyway, she's taking a ride, and she is doing all this, carrying on. So eventually, my brother and his girlfriend are like, we gotta work in the morning. We got stuff to do tomorrow. We gotta go to bed. I'm staying with them. I don't have a bedroom that I can sequester myself in to get away from this fucking madness that's ensuing. So I'm sleeping on a couch. It's like a pull-out couch thing, but I don't think I ever pulled that out. I think I just slept on it normal. They go to bed and leave me with this fucking girl. And like, she's like, you know, she's fine, but she's not being normal. She's not fine, like, I'm acting normal. So she decides to take the crying and repenting into the shower. This woman proceeds to go in the bathroom, take a shower with all the lights off. It's dark in the apartment. Like, there's like probably the oven light is on, and that's it. So all the lights are out. She goes in the shower with the lights off, which just feels like a fucking liability. In the shower, high, and it's dark. What are you doing? But I'm just kind of babysitting her, making sure nothing too crazy happens. And taking a shower in the dark is probably like low on the list of things that could go wrong. But also, in hindsight, maybe not. But I'm 17. I shouldn't be babysitting a 20-something. So she goes in the shower, and this lady starts singing some gospel songs, some hymns or something. So she's freaking out in the shower. She's singing, repenting, and praying. Also, I forgot to mention, she's Nigerian, and if you've ever been friends with Nigerian people or you know them well, this isn't for all Nigerians, obviously, but from what I've gathered, they could be really religious, and like, so this was like a thing of guilt for her. Like, she was feeling convicted. So she's doing all that, and she's like, I guess starts to come down a little bit. So she comes out of the shower, and this is when I start getting a little bit annoyed because I'm trying to go to sleep. Like, I'm trying to like just lay down and try to relax while she's doing all this stuff, and I'm just like out here by myself with her. I would still do it for somebody now if this happened again, but this annoyed me. Well, she's gonna start making requests. So she's like, "Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on toast?" I'm just like, "Oh my god! Now you have the munchies, and now I have to be a chef." Excuse me, but it's not a hard ask. So I go in the kitchen, I toast her up her toast, and I give her her sandwich, and she's just happily eating it. And I don't even think that like we conversed or talked a lot because I probably was annoyed that this was even going on. So I don't think that we sat there chit-chatting very much. I just knew that like next time she comes over, let's not give her any no cannabis free. You're doing too much. So that's pretty much all that happened that night. It wasn't too bad, but it was definitely like a lot all at once while I was also high, for her to just be like having this coming to Jesus moment, I guess. I don't know what that was. I really don't. I think she just felt guilty. And then she's just like, sorry. And it's like, also, like, you gave me alcohol. Like, I don't know. I think that you could be crying and repenting about other things besides this. Yeah. It's not a very long story, but I could just kind of ramble a little bit at the end and just chat with you for anybody who's listening. So, this person, I didn't really know her super well. I remember I used to have her on Snapchat and like we'd talk a little bit here and there. But I don't really have, that's literally the story about her. Like, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that she did. Like, kind of, but not really. I don't know. Like, there's not much to her. Yeah, there's not much to her. But that shit just made me think twice about who I decided to smoke with and who I decided to just, there's no way you can tell if that's going to happen when you smoke with somebody or not. You know, you can't just be like, oh, this person seems like they're going to freak out. But she did. And yeah, there were definitely other times where I've been around people where I was uncomfortable because I was fried and they were being weird. But that's probably like the top three. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all there is to that. I'm trying to think, but I can't think she did anything else. I don't think she did. But you guys, follow me on TikTok. It's at Maya's World Show. YouTube, I think. Let me look, because I don't remember. And I also, I also did make my Instagram public again. It is, okay, so yeah, my TikTok is YouTube, Maya's World Show. And then my Instagram is only Black Girl with a Class, and you can follow me there and support me and all that good stuff. And definitely you can DM me, ask me questions. I do want to do like a Q&A video when I have like an actual amount of subscribers who will like engage and comment and stuff. So if that includes you, start engaging with me, start commenting, tell me what you want me to talk about. I want to do like an advice thing at some point. I want to read people's stories, just like respond to the stories, give advice, but also just like be the person to listen if you just need someone to be a listening ear and just talk about it with you. And then I don't know, something else I'm gonna do is probably like trying different foods and stuff. Like, I've never had Ethiopian food, and I think it would be a fun series to go and like try different foods. And I know that that's like totally oversaturated, but like everybody tries different foods, you know, we just don't all record it, so who cares. But yeah, that's all that I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, drop a red heart emoji. I appreciate appreciate you so much. Subscribe and share and like the video. Thanks.